Hello, my dear students. My name is Anamika Rai Mandavya. Trust you all are staying home and staying safe in this lockdown. As we know, nothing can stop learning. We have been given this brilliant opportunity by DPS Jagdalpur to start e-learning. So let's begin with English Fairy Chapter 1, which is After 20 Years by O. Henry. We understand that few of you might not be having the books, so I have given the entire chapter to you in this presentation and I have summarized it for you. Now first let me tell you what this chapter is about. It is about friendship, and I must also tell you that O. Henry is popular for his legendary mastery of twist endings. So this chapter certainly has a surprise element at the end for you. This story revolves around two main characters, Silky Bob and Jimmy Wells. At one time, the two had been as close as brothers. However, once Bob left to pursue his fortunes in the West, the two eventually lost touch. Nevertheless, they had promised to meet each other after 20 years at the same place and time while they were having their last dinner together at the same spot in New York City. After 20 years opens with a policeman on a night patrol. It is nearly 10 o'clock. He walks on the streets that are depeopled. He can see very few people around and he is making sure that the area is safe. Suddenly, a man standing at a doorway where stood a restaurant Big Joey's once catches his attention. The person speaks up and assures to the policeman that he is not there to cause any trouble. Instead, he is waiting for a friend to whom he had promised 20 years back to meet at that very place and time, no matter what their conditions would be. The man lights a cigar and tells the officer about his friend Jimmy Wells. He shares that they were more like brothers than just friends. He praises Jimmy's character and adds that he is sure that his friend would certainly turn up if he stays alive. Meanwhile, the officer notices that the man had a white scar near his right eyebrow and wore a large scarf pin with a large diamond. As it is nearly 10, the policeman asks if he will stay longer to wait for Jimmy, and the man answers that he will wait for another half an hour. On listening to this, the policeman continues his patrol. After about 20 minutes, another man approaches towards the waiting man and calls for him with his name, Bob. They both greet each other heartily. Of course, they are overjoyed to see each other after 20 long years. Bob begins to recognize some unfamiliar characteristics in his friend, namely, he seems taller than he remembered. He accepts his friend's reply that he'd grown few inches in 20 years. Jimmy suggests to go to a place he knows. They start discussing about each other's whereabouts. They walk along arm in arm talking about their old times until they come across the bright lights of a drugstore. Because of this light, Bob realizes that the man in front of him doesn't have the same nose as Jimmy. But it's far too late for him to escape arrest from the plainclothesman posing as Jimmy. This is when he realizes that he is late now to escape an arrest which is awaiting. Before taking him into custody, however, the officer hands a note to Bob, which is from Patrolman Wells, who was Jimmy, the one he'd unknowingly met earlier. The note said, Jimmy admits he recognized Bob's face from a Chicago police bulletin and that he was Silky Bob, a wanted criminal in Chicago. He didn't have the heart to arrest him by himself, so he had sent someone else to do the same. So this was the surprise element of the story. Now let's try to know more about O. Henry, which is the writer of this story. His real name was William Sidney Porter, but he was popularly known by his pen name O. Henry. He was an American short story writer. His stories are known for their surprise endings, which can be best exemplified in After 20 Years. Hope you understood the chapter. There's a question for you to think and answer, which is, of the two friends, Jimmy and Bob, whom do you admire more and sympathize with? Substantiate your answer with instances from the story. You may write the answer in any copy that you are maintaining for e-learning. Stay tuned till I get back to you with the questions and answers of this chapter in my next session. Till then, take care.